Well, I think it's live. I think it's working. We shall see. So today, I'm still going to be working on the T55A premium tank you can earn. For the life of me, I don't think I turned that on bright enough. I did not. Okay. And I was kind of just, it's one of those things where if you start a new tank, you gotta like go through the motions of unlocking each little thing every time, over and over again. So I kind of just decided on a whim. I was like, you know what? I have all these like low tiers, tier 2s, fun little tanks, and I figured, what the heck? Why don't I run through them? You know, have a little fun. Sorry, a little concentrated there. Yep, there we go. Low health. Could I have done better? Sure. But I wanted to kind of go into the showcase because I have a lot of tanks. And I figured, in the thought in my head when I said, oh, I'm going to just pop on a stream. Why not? I don't remember when the last time I did a video was yet. And I have uploaded a ton of stuff since like maybe a month ago. I was figuring it's going to take a while to get through some of that stuff. Anyway, thought I had to process there. This one, which I was just using, is a old premium that they gave away. Don't remember what year. Not bad. It was an American magazine loader. It kind of helped people who didn't sit around and kind of slug through the French tiers to get that one that had a auto mag. And then we started, you know, with all the lower tiers, everything was single shot, and there were some tanks that had like auto cannons, and we were like, oh, what the heck? What are we supposed to do? And they came out with a couple of things, which progressed wonderfully. So now I just kind of have them, and I kind of roll into the matches for fun. This thing, when this one was given away, the entire match was nothing but these, and you have a lot of ammo. A lot of ammo. But it's a decent piercing gun. And the tank doesn't have the armor that would stop it, but you have 50 rounds in a mag, so you're just flying the shells out. But anyway, let me go to a tier 8 so I can pull up my thing. So, T55, yes, I know. I cheated a lot on the T28, and I used those orders. I get it. I know. I'm sneaky, whatever. Because I went back and I was trying to remember, like, what did I do? Now, in my only defense, I had been stuck on that one for years before I decided streaming, so I'm just glad I got it. And I was going to say, this is a tier 10 premium, by the way, that you can unlock for free doing these challenges. A lot of turret armor. Okay frontal. Russian, you know, angle armor. Helpful. Good gun. Hits hard. Fast reload. So, I know, 10 seconds. That's not a fast reload. It kind of is when you're that high tier, believe me. I'm not very good with Russians, but it plays very similar to a lot of German tanks where you keep the chassis sort of away from the combat and have the turret poke out. But this is the one we are working on still in the beginning stages. Before the started the stream, I actually unlocked a couple things, so I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should do something, because I had, of course, good stuff going on and wasn't recording. So tier 4. So the first tank you earn is a tier 5 premium. So you can use any tank from tier 4 up to 10. The one I just did was tier 5 all the way up. Now this is tier 6 all the way up. So I'm going to assume that that's going to be tier 7. So you kind of see how the progression goes. And it's a good spread that you get. You know, you get a tank destroyer, a medium, and a heavy. Now this one has very narrow sight, cool tank. This one is much wider, a lot of armor. They both play a little different, which is cool. Now the T55A is very, very, very much similar to the T59, the Type 59, which I have here. The original one, before they came out with the gold one when they redid it. I'm sure they ended up selling this again, but it was very controversial when it came out because it was, again, a lot of lobbies. This one wasn't free. You had to pay for this. You got a lot of lobbies. Just this. They'd wolf pack it. They'd just surround people and boom, boom, boom. Now with the modifications they added, I decided to kind of make a... I haven't got the equipment one yet, but I kind of made the idea of what we would do. So it's double fuel, right, with repair kit. Could do double repair kit, but I want to make this thing as fast as possible, accurate on the move, and just hound people at close range, which is why I like this second configuration, because it gives you... And we won on that T1. Look at that. And I got 6k XP for that times 4. Just straight up premium shell. Want to pierce, want to irritate people. I don't want to irritate people in the sense of I want to make them have a bad time. I want to make it so that if I choose to play that way, it's a specific play style. I'm not going to be sitting back and taking pot shots from a distance with this tank, which has an amazing turret on it. No, I'm going to roll up really close and fast and just sort of put pressure on people. That's the idea. Yeah, this one I just won on that. I'm about to go in and use my last boost, because I'm trying to level up the British mediums, because I got a skin for it and I cannot use it until I, get up there. I think... Let me go back here. I think soon enough, so tier 8, and it's probably going to end up being this one first, most likely. This says available categories are scouting and survivability. Why this secondary category slot is important. So starting tier 6, you have this on one slot. It kind of changes what it does. That's why it's highlighted green. The number on the left is standard. The one on the right is the boosted. So the slot gives it a boost. Now, that being said, now you see why the second category slot's important. And if you don't know which one, you don't get to pick. From what I understand, those are the available categories. And you can pick from scouting and survivability. So, keeping with the trend of fast tank, I took out my speed loader and I put this in. Why I put this in, a little bit more HP, nice. The suspension durability, load capacity will help with the weight distribution, load, and the hull damage being reduced from suspension during impact, which goes nicely with my controlled impact ability on here. See what I'm doing? Trying to make it so that I can ram people, roll around, do whatever, and not die super quick. And the turret's the only thing that's going to give me good armor off of that. The chassis is total trash, but because it's all this exposed tread on the side, usually, if you're lucky, which I was in a match earlier, the treads will take the damage and none of the actual tank does. So it won't blow out the tread. It just takes the damage, so they don't really hurt you. And because it's a tier 8, you typically get into higher tier matches. So the tactic is hard because, you know, they can pierce your turret on the side and stuff and possibly one-shot you. That's why I'm saying it's fun, because it gives me a challenge. Now, the French tank, the ELC even 90, I got this for that other game mode that they put out. Actually, I was going to go check and see. Frontline is starting soon. Good. Frontline. I like Frontline a lot. Stage 3 is on the way. I missed a lot of Stage 2. But I'm happy. I'm happy because what I ended up getting was the Tiger P completed, and I was able to start moving this tech tree along again. So I was stuck because the tech tree changed a while back, and I got so disheartened because I had the Tiger P, and then it made me earn, where is it now? Before this mouse chin and the 100.01, you had to go this route, which got you to the mouse. Then they introduced this tank, which looks a lot like the premium tank that they gave away in a clan war a long time ago. They introduced these two, so it slotted me over. So I'm like, well, I'm at tier 9. I was about to get to the mouse. Oops. So now the PZ7 is the next one for that. So I had to go back. Tank's not bad. I feel like this one teaches you more how to... It forces you to learn how to maneuver the tank so that when you get to the mouse, you're using it more effectively, which I thought that was cool. You know, this is no more like the Tiger or other heavy tanks where it's like put front of a tank here and block shots. This one is more of you get to cover. You would think, oh, if I angle myself a certain way and turn my turret left, the shells would ricochet. It's quite the opposite. If you come up to a piece of cover, sort of straight on, and to the right is where you'd be exposed, you would turn your hull to the left and back up out and fire. That is how the mouse is supposed to be played, and I've known this, but I never had the tank to do it. On the 4502, it's not capable really of doing that because of the way the treads are. It works, but it's not the same versus this. Oops, I didn't mean to click that. I meant to go into it. Versus this with this nice solid bit of armor. I think it's 185 on the side. Yeah. And up here it's 130. So you progressively get a little bit more armor as you go on from these tanks, but really it's just the tactic. This kind of forces you for 2 tiers to learn the tactic. So I have the tier 9 gun finally. Hopefully this will make my gunplay a little bit better, because this one was not cutting it in the tier 8, 9 matches. This one gets the tier 10, and yes, this is the same gun, but it is different for the tier 10. And I can show you the difference in the statistics. They do the same damage and everything, but you end up getting a jump in accuracy, faster aim time, and a faster rate of fire, so your gun loading is lower. So that's why the mouse is better as far as this one goes. Some people I've heard say, oh, I'll just go to tier 9 and don't bother with the tier 10s, whatever. Also, the armor. You get 20 more in the frontal armor. It's 210 all around for the turret. And then the sides and rear of the hull armor change dramatically, in my opinion. So, yeah. But this one's going to have more of the gun placement backwards, whereas this one, it looks like it's backwards in the angle shot they did. But it's actually forwards, you know? It's more centered, but a little bit more forward, whereas the other ones are going to sit back on the engine compartment like this. And I have the 45B, and I also picked up the 75K. Again, because I'm not going to have the 45 be anymore. And this one is kind of comparable to it. Even though they're a tier difference. I say kind of comparable. They're not the same. The hull armor is very different. The turret is closer, but again, same damage, slightly less penetration, and a tier lower. Just a nice little remnant thing. Yes, I have a bunch of rental tanks. I don't use them. But that's the mousetrack. Now, I've known for a while they had the Russian tanks with the double guns, but I finally got to it. And I'm excited because this is like Red Alert Dream, right? They had those tanks in that strategy game that had double cannons. I think they called the Mammoth tank. It was so interesting. And getting to play it is great because I thought this thing was going to be a disaster. Like, you fire one, it takes forever for the second one to load. No, it goes pretty quick. And the salvo fire also goes pretty quick. Like a 10-second to 20-second reload, which is both barrels, I thought was going to take so much longer and I would be out of the fight. I'm more often in the fight than I thought I would be. That may change over time. But, you know, the style is different. From what I'm seeing, the stat difference isn't much difference, aside from the 4 or 5 seconds to change between the guns. Yeah. And the only reason it takes that long, and from what I'm looking at the tank, is the way the people are sitting. I feel like they have the loaders, right, loading the shell together or independent of the barrels. Right? Like they're going to load this one and then they're going to load that one. So while you're aiming and firing one, they're loading the other one. But there's like shuffling of soldiers in the tank, right? So the gunner is on this barrel, boom, swaps to the, he has to walk around and swap to the other one. And I'm going to show you how that works, in my opinion. Like I'm putting myself more into this, and I know they've talked about this on their own channel, the company, and they've done whatever, but I'm a fan. And I like to kind of dream and maybe exaggerate it a bit, but this is for fun. I'm not trying out here to be, I'm being professional, but I'm not trying to be like the pro gamer, you know, kind of thing. Let me make money off of this in a crazy sense. It's a dream to earn ad revenue, even a penny one time in my life, or get a sponsorship, but I have a normal job. I like sharing this game. There's many others I play. I'm a very big zombies, Call of Duty player, or for that fact, any zombie game. Anything where you're surviving against zombies I like. Not the ones where it's all kind of cinematic, run away, you have no way of fighting. More of the survival kind. I like Resident Evil for what it is. I've played a few of the games. They're fine. It's less about being scared by it and more of I want to enjoy, you know, fighting the zombies. So Outbreak on Call of Duty is great. I like that. You know? And you see one's already loaded, the second one's loaded. Done. Now if I remember right, I think if I fire both off at the same time, which you can do, like a double barrel shotgun, just boof. I think that's when the 18-second reload comes into play, because this thing's going to generate a lot of heat. It's going to be a lot for them to reload, etc., right? Now, why am I sticking out here? I'm still an IS. This is an IS-2 body with a larger turret and double barrel. So it is still that at the end of the day. We have one big artillery. Sorry, I keep hitting T. I mean to hit this button so I can send it over there. Yep. There we go. I feel like some tanks that you use inherently spook certain people, so they kind of go, I'm going to focus killing that thing at any cost, right? And I feel like the double barrel's one of them. I feel like they get overestimated, but also understated. Ooh, nice side strike on my turret. Oop. Ah, a little delayed. Yeah, come on, roll in the grass, guys. Come roll in the grass. Trying to destroy the hell out of that hill. 7501 on the side. Try to switch over. A little more piercing, a little more damage. Yeah, I'm getting beat. Yeah, I shouldn't sit like that. I'm not going to spot him before he'd get me. I don't know where that 152K was, but holy crap. So what I'm going to try to do now, because we are losing this horribly. There's a wall there. He would have to come around and get me. I'd like to, but then they'd get to you.
Moving in to support you. I appreciate it. Confirmed.
Ah! Trying to keep people tracked on him. You can keep telling me to withdraw. When you're out in an open desert like this, there's no such thing as withdraw. It's just not. I'm sorry. But, you know, keeping them there, showing my armor, being a tough double-barreled tank was good. Trying to hit the tracks, but, you know, sometimes it doesn't track them, it just damages it. That happens. But that's what I mean. The vision of the gun slightly shifts inside. So, next steps for heavy tanks. This big bad boy. Gotta earn enough XP. My little Cobra Commander tank. Yeah, I know I didn't play it the way that they did with the tanks they wanted you to buy and use. I just got the commanders for free, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna stick him in this Japanese tank, because my lord, if something tells me what Cobra Commander would be like, it would be this tank. It is a battle platform. Lots of armor like the mouse. Close health. Oh, 75 armor penetration and 900. You know, this is really a support tank, huh? Oh, but it's a heavy assault. Let me show you why. Forget this. Same rate of fire, yes, but I'm trading off 300 damage, yes, for piercing. Look at that. Goes from a 169 firepower rating to that. Slightly faster reload too. Yes, I understand they reworked the HE. Works a little bit differently, a little bit better. I don't know if it works that much better. Trust me, I like this screen thing because it was... And now we're going to go to Capitan Duke. In the Warhammer tank. Wow, we should have had Space Marine. Oh, my lord, Space Marine costumes. Wait a minute. I could make a joke out of this. Oh, it's not in barracks. Where is it? I could effectively take all of these crew members. Yeah. And give them space suits. Space Marine without the Space Marine. Anyway. Just had the thought. Now, why am I bringing this one up? Okay, so this one. Is that because of my ammo type, or is that actually the piercing of the gun? Did they changed that? That's different. Wait a minute. Wait a hot minute. That is different. Ooh. Okay, so there. Same kind of damage like the other one, huh? I have high explosive load first. No, I have this one piercing round load first, just to kind of show people, haha, I can hit you. And then they kind of back off, because a lot of people got ballsy with this tank because the armor's not so good. It's a good even round all around. But like, you gotta really hit the side or that curtain for it to not hurt. So you end up taking more shots than you would want to. Sorry, I have no idea where my dog went. Probably downstairs. On the porch. Tier 7 match. Okay, so this is a good one. No other KV2 good. It's great tank to have. It's a great situation for that T50. But, and this is a big but, if you have more than one and you guys are buddying up, it gets really tedious because it's a 20-second reload for a Tier 6. You're a support tank. You are, even though you're heavy, you're a support tank. You are not meant to be on the front lines. And I gave mine a bit more mobility because this boy is chunky. So I kind of play him more like a sniping tank destroyer. I sit back a little bit because the dispersion's crazy, or I get in real close and thump them with that HE. I do have a normal Tiger 1, and I have the 2 premium Tiger 1s, but the normal Tiger 1 I wanted for the, game effects. The premium ones are more, I guess, historically accurate. Both of them are really good. Especially if you know how to play a Tiger, which is tier 7. And the premium ones are at tier 6, so you get lower matches with a good tank. Thought I heard my puppy. Now these guys are moving forward, so I'm going to kind of stay just behind them. Turn that off so I don't blow my engine out yet. Artillery's already on them. It's a good hit too. Oh look, there's an IS, which is a tier 7. Ah, did I hit him? I saw a white flash. I hope I didn't get anything off of that. Son of a gun. Probably missed the silhouette. What do we have here? Rock. All that stuff. This is exactly why we need scouts to do their job. Yep. Now, nobody is saying a scout should be a dive bomber. I'm just letting them know, like, because of the no scouting, they lost me, because I'm trying to move forward. My gun works either at very long distance, if I can get a full lock, and pray that my gunner is aiming well. Otherwise, the light tanks that aren't scouting when they should be, you're going to lose your heavies. This was the light tank that we had. Very, very fast little sucker. See, I could lose engine power. I could do this. Could do that. Well, the dispersion should be small, but I should reload faster. So I could do this, right, to make my tank faster. And what am I getting for that? Almost 30 in reverse, over 70 going forward. And I have that. It's going to make the tank very unbalanced and unyieldy. It already is, like, unyieldy. So. And the spotting's okay. So I'm going to try to show what I expect from a scout. It's situational. I'm going to preface that. But you see this scout, how I have all the spotting? Yes, I know. I've got camouflage skill maxed out for them, and I have binocs, an extra camouflage. You can only spot 445 meters away. Anything above that number sort of spots things more easily within that radius. The time. So let's say somebody enters that circle. It might take your guy 2 seconds before he sees them. It's not helpful, so you want that rating higher. This one I use more passively because the firepower is not that strong. It's not that strong of a tank to take too many hits. But he's got high piercing and a good consistent damage. Needle nose, you know? Same concept, but there's more damage there, less rounds, and a longer reload. And I think less armor. I think the other one's more armored. Yeah, the AMX is more armored than the ELC. However, I think my mobility is a little bit better on the ELC. Also, the profile size is so different. It is much dramatically smaller than that, and it's lower to the ground. Anyway, moving on. This scouting tank, I don't have the maximum view. He's got a lot of mobility like the Russian, and decent armor, and a weird way of the tracks always getting broken and nothing else. This one is a great to zip around and kind of see things. Also great for artillery killing. Now we come to this, which is the one I leaned on the most. And I think I've maxed it out. Yep, so I get... This is the first one I maxed out with a field promotion while I was learning about this. Tier 6 is what you need a Tier 8 for. It's protected. It's fast firing. Okay. And it's got more engine power. So I sacrificed a little bit of the overall speed for more consistent energy going up, downhill, etc. And I've got passive scouting stuff here. There is, in number 2, active scouting, aggressive scouting for going against artillery. And for them, switch. There we go. Couple of HE shells and a lot of heat shells. And again, straight up mobility. More fuel, only the repair kit, etc. This one is a little bit more versatile, but with passive ability. Okay? And it's over 500 for the view range. So I am spotting those guys. And to further affect it, which I don't have that many skills on this tank, I've got, that's part of the view range, I've got maximum signal strength from my radio and relaying. So if somebody else spots something, but a tank behind me doesn't have as far of a range, my tank can take it and send them the order so they can see it through me. That's the idea of scouting. Okay? Extends the signal range of ally communications within vehicle's radio coverage. Does not affect the signal range of your vehicle. So that's why I have signal first, then relaying. See? Nice. So those are just the hard numbers. Now I do have 2 Germans I used a lot for that challenge too. I've got the Hawk, higher tier, gets into tier 10 matches, immediately did relaying first on this. Yes. Why I did relaying first? Because the signal range is so high on this tank. Coming in straight up at 745. Used this one on that other game mode. And then I was like, I need more signal range as well because it's a much bigger map. But got the relaying quickly, so if I was near the border of the map, the other side of the map could see people who were shooting them from my side. Because I hate when people go right to the border and shoot over and irritate them. Also, this is very helpful in the scouting slot to anybody who's hiding behind foliage, or if they have a lot of concealment skill like mine, as this is about 30%. This is going to knock them down quite a bit. Did the same thing on this one. Again, very fast. This one was more of the brothers in arms, and then I was trying to kind of make this more like an attacking tank that irritated people. That 90 millimeter. Oof. And then we all remember the American version of that Russian fast tank. So we used to do racing with this one. I remember the racing mode was fun. Good scout, solid radio signal. View range is a little low, so you can bump that up first. But yeah. And then I have 2 Shermans. Never actually got the normal Shermans in the game. Only had these. So, that has got nothing to do with scouting, though. Now, where... We went over that Russian one. Don't know anything about British light tanks for scouting, so I'm not going to touch that one. Other one. I missed what this one used to have a magazine loader. I missed that. That was kind of like a good response to the Frenchies. Get to tier 7 with the German. Go after them. Then we got these now. These new ones. Forward or back. Doesn't matter. Same speed. Tire blows out. Doesn't stop you. Just go slower. The more tires blown out, the slower you go. Turning radius versus treads. Little different, but very fast. So you want to kind of pick where you're going to go. But this, as a scout tank, I think it could be better as a support communicator. Concealment's okay. You know, this is tier 6 and it's 30%, so you could definitely hide. And you could definitely get in and out of dodge quick. So that's good. And I think the higher tiers punch harder. But I'm still learning the wheeled ones. This is only the first one, and it goes from that to this. And I think since it's got the 3, you get a lot more speed out of it and a little more oomph. 70, yep. And then the Lynx 6x6 is where you first get into the whole telescopic drive. And then that would be my question, is how it works. Then you get all the way up to this thing. Slap a magazine loader on it. Really irritates people. Anywho. And I did get my Bat Chat, which is the French medium. Yep. Doing good. Got my Frenchies all going up. So let me go back to my Type 62, which I feel the way I've done this one is kind of the ideal scout, right? And I'll show you what I do. Armor is not the strongest, but it follows the same principles as the Type 59. So it's got a good rounded turret. The body, I think, is a little bit more off the ground, though. Nope. It's a little bit less. Good. So here's how we're going to play it. I'm going to do the balanced one here. Show you sort of passive and active scouting. Active is when you're rolling around. This is good. But if you're going to be an active scout at a higher tier, you have that advantage of having the equipment that helps see people in camouflage and behind coverage. When you're lower, you don't. We won on that KV2, by the way. So that's good. And you could select the configuration now. Oh, if we're going to be here, then I might as well. That one. I'm not going to go with premium rounds, but I am going to show you the more active scout because we are on Himmelsdorf, and there is really no passive way to do this. And yes, I've got a bunch of these progressive metals. They're not progressed far, and they're all around the tank. There's the Type 64 trailing behind me. There's that engine power that I have, the extra kicking in. Here we go. I'm down. Now, I'm not the best at active scouting. I'm going to say that. But I wanted people to see who's here, and I wanted to give the mediums a chance to move up closer. There we go. So now we're going to have their scout dead. This guy's going to die eventually here in a second. Yeah, go on, Strum. Get him. Move in there and get him. There you go. See, now they don't have a chance of taking this whole thing over. And because I did that, the Type 64 gets to have his view rangefinder over into that center square. So, not a total loss, but we've stopped those tank destroyers from taking the hill and raining hell down on our teammates that are out in the streets trying to stop anybody else from going near the flag. So there is a purpose to my stupidity. A bad one, but it's there. Now that one gives me the option. This one says it's a versatile light tank, but I really only use this one passively. Because this one I can do both, but I don't. And the only thing I did was I took away 2 kilometers an hour going forward for more engine power. It's the only level I did on that, but I want to try this unaugmented and Manila. There we go. This one. I'm going to do this one Manila for you. I'll show you. Yeah, I'm going to pull up my camera and see if I can get into it too. This map's a little hard to do passive scouting on too. But I'm going to try to go up here by this upper hill city and kind of look down the roads and stuff. Going to do my best. Just moving in to poke him, sorry. So what I'm doing is that forward and back rocking poke tactic. We're almost a month from those videos. Wow. Okay. And for clarification, because I was asked this, it would be once a week. So if I go a whole month and then I post 4 videos, that's the once a week. It all depends on how quickly I can do certain things. That's all. I think I had the cheapo stuff on here because I was pining for money at one point, but now I've got like $500,000 again, so I should be fine. Oof, SU got me. So you see my green circle in the mini-map, and then my other one meets it exactly. My gun just barely fits over the top of this tank. And I'm pining for health at this point. So I let that engage so I can spot.
Fall back.
I don't want to lose this one, but I'm going to try to my best. It says 2. I only see the IS-6 there, so Progetto got me. I thought it was a Scorpion. Okay, not a problem. Didn't want to lose it, like I said, but it happens. Okay, the boost is over. Which means I am over. I am going to... Okay. Yep, tried. Tried, didn't succeed. That's okay. And if people are that harsh on themselves, they want to say how much they fail. First attempt in learning. It's an acronym. Now, if you want to get cynical and you want to say things like, well, you know, if you fail with a saw and you cut your leg off, you know, not a first attempt in learning. I mean, it is, but also you don't need things with bodily harm, and you don't have to go to that extreme. Treating a situation that involves those kind of things is one thing. Acting like washing the dishes and breaking one being the same thing as cutting your finger with a saw? No. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Yep, so I got a fill in here. I'll probably be on Xbox at some point. I don't know how I'm going to stream it necessarily yet. I do have Twitch. I just don't really use it that much because it requires me to turn my computer on in order to say yes. Weird. I don't know how to put that. I think there's something else I could do on the Xbox to make it happen. I think I did connect it like that, but I'm just not. I like the Streamlabs that I use, and I'm trying to figure out the better way to do that because they're in two different parts of the house. I was looking for my E100. Sorry. There we go. Can I give you one yet? No. E100 goes all the way up here. Mm-hmm. Trying to make the E100 more like a mobile tank, and then the mouse more like a wall of iron and steel. Alright, well that does it for me. Check out the training center when you come in, and the boot camp. Combat intelligence is like your mailbox. Alright, and you'll be able to get started, so to speak. There was one thing I wanted to check on. Referral program screen. There we go. Got a friend who signed up for this, and I can explain this. I think you get like a tier 5 or 6 tank throughout the levels. You can do this with 2 people. Mm-hmm. There it is. And he gets the cadet thing. So there, kind of just went through that to show you how it works. I got to get on this guy. He's only got 2 months left on it. But I digress.